Your test is more likely to be Wednesday. I know I'm a lot of tests like just in the first 10 days. I told you that last week. And test supposed to be out on a Monday, but we have a lot of things going on with fire drill and stuff like that. So what happened in that video is actually going to help you through the whole worksheet. It's going to teach you whatever you think you need to know. But meanwhile, let me finish unit circle. I think that's kind of important. So I'm gonna go through all the stuff, and if you're my student from last year, you know very well that all the stuff I teach you, which is good. I think it's important. I think it will help you on your SAT. Rather than just knowing all that stuff, because I heard people from Kensho Ollie's class that they did not talk about those things, and I think it's very important for you guys to know. I'm trying to delete everything. All right, so what I want to do is, we didn't talk about the coordinates of those. That doesn't mean you don't know. It just means you don't know where they come from. Okay, so I think that it's more important to know where you come from rather than just memorize, oh, that value is just going to be square root 2/2. Now, with that being said, I'm going to talk about some SAT materials. For example, this too. So if I have a right triangle, and this is a right triangle, and this is a congruent. So not only this is a right triangle, it's called isosceles right triangle. You have to memorize this is x, this is x, and what is the hypotenuse? X radical 2. Those of you guys taking SAT, you have to have this memorized because this is on the first page of it. It's on a reference sheet, always on a reference sheet, but you waste 10 seconds to look it up. Which is that 10 seconds you could have saved you with one more question. You'd be surprised. Sometimes that 10 seconds make a big difference. If you have to look up the ratio like this, it's not important. Okay, so this length has to be congruent. This length is congruent. Not only in the congruent, they are 45 degrees, and they are 45 degrees. So it's also known as 45, 45, 90 degree special right triangle. So with that being said, there's one more you had to memorize. This is 90, this is 30, and this is 60. This is x. Okay, so small side is facing smallest angle always. The biggest side is facing the biggest angle, so 90 degrees facing 2x. The 60 is facing x root 3. And that's a ratio you had to memorize. And you know why that's very helpful? Because there's something that it's going to be using throughout SAT. SAT must have one question with 30, 60, 90 or 45, 45, 90. Now, here, how do I know the third side is x root 3, x root 2? I show you, it's very easy. It's not like some rock sign, you know. It's actually very straightforward. It's a squared b squared equal to c squared. We don't know what c is, so it'll be x squared plus x squared is equal to c squared. 2x squared equal to c squared. C is equal to square root 2x squared. You can take out x, so it'll be x root 2. And that's how you get x root 2 here. Again, it's not memorization. It's understanding. Now from here, the ratio of x and the x squared root 3 and 2x, it has something to do with log sign. Now last year, your teacher probably did not cover too much of log sign, right? My class, I think I cover it, but it's really fast paced. I didn't really test it, but law science is something that's kind of important, and that's why you got x root 3, and 2x. Now, for me, that you can go through this, you can say, oh, okay, well, this is something I would just memorize. So this is a memorize. So again, the x is always facing the smallest angle. 2x is always facing the 90 degree because the 90 degree is the biggest one. And then in the middle is going to be x root 3. Now, I'm going to start with a simple question. What if you have a 45, 45, 90 triangle, congruent, congruent, right triangle, and this side is 6? What will be this side? And what will be this side? Caden?
It would be 6 at the base of the triangle and then 6 times square root of 2 at the hypotenuse.
Okay, so that's good. So you understand that. Does everybody understand that? Yes? Okay. So what happens if you have this though? Congruent, congruent. This is size 10. Will be the here and will be here, right? Raise your hand if you think you know. Good. 2 people know, 3 people know. Anybody else doesn't know? If you don't know, raise your hand. You don't know? Brendan, you don't know? Man, let me go back, change your grade to a C. To a C. Liam, you don't know? Change it to a C. Yeah. You're just saying that so I don't change your grade? Okay, so I'm going to test you. What is Y then? Let me change your grade. Ferrari, send an email. Yes, Balin. No. Ryden?
5 root 2.
5 root 2 is correct. How many of you guys got 5 root 2? Okay, so if you didn't know, you take this 10, you set it equal to this ratio here because that's hypotenuse. So you say 10 over square root 2 times x. So x equal to 10 over root 2. And you rationalize it. So it'll be 10 root 2 over 2. And that's going to be 5 root 2. So that's why it's 5 root 2 here. And this is 5 root 2 here. Does that make sense? Very easy SAT question. I promise you some SAT. Okay, so now next thing is this. What if I have this case? 30, 60, 90. And I have this side is, actually, I have this side is 10. Can you figure out the x and can you figure out the y? Actually, let me switch this. I'm going to try to trick you, see if that works or not. This is y, this is x. Figure out y and x. Liam, what do you think?
Y is 5 and x is 5 root 3.
Yes. This is 5. This is 5 root 3. Because 2x is equal to 10. And the one that facing 30 degree is 5. And the one that facing the x is equal to 5 root 3. Any questions? Last question before I go out. 30, 60, 90. And this side is 8, and this side is x, and this side is y. Yes, Bailey?
You just plug it in.
Yeah, once you figure out x, just x root 5. X root 3, yeah. So now we have 30, 60, 90. I have x and y. A refrigerator. Sometimes my stomach something like that. Okay, did you get Gabby? Did you get it? No. Brenda, you better know your stuff. Let me ask. Isaac, what do you think? What is x?
I don't know.
Okay, now
8 root 3 over 3.
8 root 3 over 3. Do you guys agree? Okay. Yeah, because you take it 8, you set it equal to this ratio. So be 8 equal to x root 3. So x equal to 8 over root 3. Rationalize. So be 8 root 3 over 3. So therefore is 8 root 3 over 3.
You do it. You put a sticker on that. You put plastic.
Okay, what's the next one? What will be the y? Bennett?
16 times root 3 divided by 3.
Okay, good. That's it. So you got all 3 lengths. Now let's go back to answer the question that we had before. I'm hungry. Okay, let's talk about this question here. There is a triangle here, and the triangle looks like this. Right. This is going down. It's 90 degrees. This is this. So there's a right triangle here. This is a perpendicular line, so that's 90 degree. What do you think this angle is? This is 45 degrees, right? So that means this is 45 degrees, right? Now, what is the hypotenuse of this particular triangle? What's her name? What's your name? Fiona? Okay, Fiona, what is the unit circle? What's the hypotenuse here? 1. So this is equal to 1. Now remember, 45 degrees, right? If this is a 1, what will happen to this side? Well, 1 is equal to x times root 2, right? 1 over root 2 equal to x. Square root 2 over 2 is the x. So this is square root 2 over 2 and square root 2 over 2. Does that make sense? Because that coordinate is the x value and y value of the thing. So square root 2 over 2 and square root 2 over 2. It's come from geometry. It's not just a memorization, it's to understand what is going on because that's one. Therefore, that makes this one square root 2 over 2, and this is square root 2 over 2. So that's that. This is the x and y value of this particular coordinates. Got it?
How's it? Both that.
Because they are the same. 45, 45, 90 is isosceles right. Good question, though. I'm glad that he asked. Questions? Can I go further? Okay. Let's go with the another triangle. This triangle here. We're gonna call this tall triangle. And this is also 30, 60, 90, but stand up tall. So we know that this side is going to be 2x, this side is going to be x, this one's x root 3. Now, what is 2x in this case? Is equal to what? 1. So x must be what? 1 over 2. And this is going to be 1/2 times square root 3. So it'll be square root 3 over 2. So this is a 1/2 square root 3 over 2. Does that make sense? It did not just coming from nowhere, it coming from somewhere, right? So you cannot just take your teacher told you so. I don't like when your teacher told you so. The teacher could lie to you. And actually, I didn't know this until yesterday, actually. Your geometry teacher probably told you two parallel line cannot intersect. But the truth is, parallel line can intersect. It's called projection geometry. You actually, those good at drawing, you do it all the time. Like you do it all the time, but it's called projection geometry. But I didn't know it until I watched a video yesterday. Holy shit, I lied to my student for like 12 years. It can connect to each other, but due to different circumstances. If you ever draw a train track, right? And just draw a train track. Like if you draw it, it's gonna be like this, right? And that's to see that the thing. So there's a point called vantage point. A vantage point is there's still parallel line. Two train track is parallel line, but if you projection it, it's gonna intersect at eventually infinity when they get to the end. It's called vantage point. I didn't know until I watched a documentary yesterday about this one Russian mathematician figure out that two parallel lines can have one intersection, at infinite. But that's just the way it is. But yeah, so teacher will lie to you and you'll find out something is wrong. The more likely you find out what teacher is going to say is wrong, the more likely you invent new things, which is great. So I hear it's going to be square root 3 over 2. And here's 1/2. Why? Because that's just different shape of triangle. Right? Different shape of triangle. Because you just, this triangle just kind of laying down. Okay, so that's that. So anyway, so now we figure out all three things. Does that make sense? They are coming from somewhere. They didn't come up from nowhere. All those values come from the same thing. Now I'm gonna draw a bunch of butterfly. There's a green butterfly. Because they are reference triangle. This is a green butterfly. I call this like a sling, like thin butterfly. It's really tall and thin. As size 3 butterfly. You can think of a size 3. And there's size 4 is more average. They're kind of average height. What? What'd you say? Sorry though. Okay, so this is size 4 butterfly. And this is size 6. Size 6 is just wider and shorter. So This way, and this way. So there are three different sizes of butterfly. Size 3 is skinny and tall. So guess what? You have a skinny X value and tall Y value. Does that make sense? All the size 3 have the same exact thing. The median one, size 4 is a median, so you have same height and same width. The size 6 is going to be a little bit wider than height. Is that okay? So now I'm going to go back and adjust everything. So I'm going to go fill in all the things. So be square root 2 over 2, square root 2 over 2, but one of them is negative. This one's negative root 2 over 2, negative root 2 over 2. And this one is root 2 over 2, and this one's root 2 over 2. And this one is negative. Now, here it's going to be negative root 3 over 2 and 1/2, negative root 3 over 2 and negative 1/2, root 3 over 2 and 1/2. And I'm going to go to pi over 4, so it's 1/2 root 3 over 2, negative, wait, hold on a second, that's not negative. So this one's negative, this one's negative half, square root 3 over 2, and 1/2 square root 3 over 2, negative. Wait, hold on a second, this is negative, my bad. Okay. Wait, they're both negative. Sorry, I keep on mess up. Because that's X and Y negative. Does it, everybody make sense? Going ding here? Okay, now we're gonna, yes.
The X value for like the green triangle 1/2.
It's because you have this triangle right here, right? And you have 60 and you're 90, and this is 1, right? Oh, sorry, 60, this is 90, and this is 60. No, this is 30, sorry. So I hear this is going to be 60, this is 30, this is 90, and this is 1. So I hear it's going to be, this is 2x, so x must be 1/2, because that's a shorter side, because it's facing 30 degrees, right? And the 60 degrees facing the 1/2 times square root 3, so it'll be square root 3 over 2.
Ties into that algebra.
Yeah, it's coming back to geometry.
Mm-hmm.
Now, for your next section, this is one part of the test that you do. Okay, so this is the first part of the test. 7 minutes, you had to complete this. This one's 6 minutes. Either 0 or 100. There's no somewhere in between. If you mess one up, then it's 0. And you only have 6 minutes to complete it. Last year you have 7 minutes. This year you have 6 minutes. So you cannot make a mistake. So those two things that this is half the test. Yes.
So the unit circle 6 minutes, after that 7 minutes on the back side.
Mm-hmm. And I will take this away so you can use it. You cannot use the unit circle that I give it to you. Last year, if I see you using unit circle, I take a unit circle, I rip to pieces, and I walk away, and I laugh at you. I'm a bully. Yeah. I don't know. Did I ever rip your paper off, Brendan? Yes.
Not me. You did it to someone. You did it to Lena.
Lena.
Yeah.
Really? Yeah, so I just rip it off and I walk away and laugh at you. But yeah, so technically you don't need to show it. You can bring an empty sheet of unit circle and you can work with all the exact values, all the evaluations. So, but you should not even use that. But if a handicap, you should use an empty one. Don't use the one that already filled in. So if it's me, I will always like just use the empty one if I need to use it. But empty one, you can see the distance a little bit better. So that's probably the best way to do it. So next question. Next question is, I'm gonna answer you says, okay, well, how do I find sine of pi over 3? How many of you guys don't know what sine of pi over 3 is? Raise your hand. It's okay to be proud. If you don't know, okay, Connor didn't know. Who else? That's fine. Isaac didn't know? Okay, that's fine.
No or
Don't know.
Oh.
Okay, you don't know. Who else? Baden don't know? Okay, that's fine. Oh, you know the upset. Okay, you know. Okay, good. Isaac don't know, right? And it's okay. So I'm gonna teach you. So I'd rather you telling me you don't know because you'll make me better teacher if you told me you don't know. If you pretend that you know, I hate when students pretend that they know shit and they end up don't know it, and that's bad. Because if you pretend that you know and I just move on, and actually give me more trouble because I have to go back to figure out what you don't know. So earlier you raised your hand and says, I don't know how to do this. But anyway, sine, the reason why is sine of pi over 6. So you have to know, start with the sine of theta is equal to opposite over hypotenuse. And in terms of opposite over hypotenuse, it's this y over h. Y, so in this case, that this is a y value, and this is a h value, so it's y over h. So, but h is always equal to what? 1, because in unit circle, y, the h is 1. So therefore, sine of theta is equal to y. Does that make sense? Cosine of theta is always equal to x over h. Again, x over 1, because unit circle is 1. So cosine theta is x. Now, that makes tangent of theta is equal to y over x. And that's the thing. So what is sine of pi over 3? This means is looking at a unit circle, what is the y value when pi over 3 is? So you're going to look at pi over 3 here, and you look at this, and you say, oh yeah, that's going to be square root of 3 over 2. But you have to do it without a unit circle, though. That's a hard part. So memorizing unit circle is like a multiplication table. You don't really use multiplication table every time you multiply 3 times 8. Because that'll be too slow. You have to know 3 times 8 is 24. Same thing, you have to know sine of pi over 3. Okay, so now what is cosine of 5 pi over 6? Let me see if I can call on people. What's cosine of 5 pi over 6? Ethan, what do you think? Cosine of 5 pi over 6. Is it Easton or Easton?
Easton.
Easton, okay.
It should be
Don't look at unit circle.
square root 3 over 2.
Square root 3 over 2. Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay. Benicia, what do you think?
Oh.
Negative square root 3 over 2. Good job, Benicia. Awesome job. Right. Pay attention. Are they positive, negative? Which quadrant are you belong to? Okay, that says sine of 13 pi over 4. I know, like, I used to do this. Like, a long time ago, I do this. I think in COVID year, I was bored. I was teaching a bunch of kids, like, online. I'm so sorry. What? So what happened is, and back in the days, I actually have the bunch of people scream and they just project it, and so I have people have staring contests, and the staring contest is different than what a usually normal staring contest. A staring contest, you have to stare at the screen without moving your eyeballs, so your eyeballs cannot move, and you had to think about what is cosine of 5 pi over 6. Do you realize how hard that is? Because your brain automatically wired to your eyes every time you think about rotation of a unit circle, you start thinking rotating your eye. It's really hard to do it without it. And so some student can do it, some student cannot. But yeah, sine of 13 pi over 4. You don't know? Okay. Benicia knows. Hold on. Let me see. What's your name?
Gabriel.
Gabriel. Okay. Gabriel is a smart one. How about Lucas? What is sine of 13 pi over 4?
Or 3/2.
Huh?
Or 3/2.
Square root 3 over 2 is, I don't know. What's your name? This girl here. Isabella. What do you think sine of 13 pi over 4? Radical 2 over 2. Aspen, what do you think the answer is? I'm not saying either right or yes. You could have right answer, but
It's over 4.
yeah.
Over 2.
Okay. All right. So the answer is radical 2 over 2. Now, some people, like Gabby says, I don't know how to do it, and I'm going to teach you. Remember, I told you that unit circle is best to know those things. I told you guys it's best to know those things because those things are very helpful, especially you have over. What? Oh, okay, sorry. That's fine. I was gonna explain it here, but I would have figured out here. So this one is gonna be 4. So I here is gonna give you what? This one's 8 pi over 4, right? Does that make sense? And then you're gonna rotate more. You're gonna rotate another 2 pi over 4. This one's gonna be this one's gonna be 10 pi over 4, 12 pi over 4, 13 pi over 4. It's gonna be right here. So it's gonna be right here. So the value of y value is gonna be negative root 2 over 2. Okay, so that's how you going about. Now sometimes you can have, so positive angle is going counterclockwise. Negative angle is going to clockwise. Is that okay? You use the same unit circle. It's like you're spinning. It's like a wheel. You're spinning. It's still the same rotation. You rotate, just rotate one extra times. That's it. So what will be the cosine of negative 17 pi over 6? So it will be cosine of negative 17 pi over 6. Don't look at unit circles. Jenny? Neither? Is it neither or neither? Okay. Neither. What is it? Gabby?
I think it's negative.
What's a kid that in front of Gabby? Yeah, the white kid. Ethan. Sorry. When I don't know people, I'll be like, well, the black kid, the Indian kid, or brown kid, or like that. Is nothing offensive. I'm racist to all race. So yeah, Ethan, the white kid. So okay, what is it? Negative root 3 over 2. Okay. Anna, what do you think? Okay, let's see if it's right. So 17 pi. So remember, negative is going to go clockwise. So if you go full rotation, it's 12 pi over 6. Does that make sense? So that means how much have to go more? 5 pi over 6. So 5 pi over 6 is right here. And that will be negative root 3 over 2. Yes, good job. Whoever did that, good job. Okay. So you guys seems like you can handle that. So let me ask you more. What will be tangent of 2 pi over 3? call somebody I've never called before. Neo. Neo is the person that always avoid my call. Why is that? Neo, what's tangent 2 pi over 3?
Negative radical 3.
Negative radical 3. Armin approve? Okay. Nice job. Sine of 2 pi over 3 over cosine of 2 pi over 3. That's how we'll think about it. And that's equal to square root 3 over 2. That's equal to negative half. So it'd be square root 3 over 2 times 2 over negative 1. Keep change flip, so that's going to be negative root 3. Good job. Nice job, Neil. So now for me, I would tell students, rather than that, I will actually memorize this. Because this is going to be something very helpful. Something that's very helpful is understand basically tangent of pi over 4 is easiest value anybody should know. Tangent of pi over 4 because sine and cosine exact same value, so they can cancel out directly. So it should be equal to 1. Does that make sense? Tangent of pi over 6, which is all the pi over 6 here, is always root 3 over 3. That's the only one you had to memorize. And the other one is going to be opposite of that. So it'll be tangent of pi over 3 is equal to root 3. Now remember, this one's positive for tangent. This one's positive for tangent. Negative, negative for the other side because you got positive, negative, positive, negative, negative, positive. That's how you get negative side on the other side. So only positive region is for tangent is first quadrant and third quadrant. Any questions here? No. Okay, so let's go on. What? Tangent of pi over 6 is root 3 over 3. Okay, so how about secant of 7 pi over 6? Jesus, you feeling better? You had a fever all weekend?
No, only Friday and Saturday got better.
So can you think of a secant of 7 pi over 6?
It's like
Yeah, just go. Just get up and go. You don't need to ask me. I'm asking the shoes though.
secant is inverse of cosine, right?
Not inverse, but it's reciprocal of cosine. So there's a difference between inverse.
Well, negative 2 over negative 3.
Okay, so you need to rationalize it though. 1 over cosine, I think you had the right idea. Cosine over 7 pi over 6. 1 over negative root 3 over 2. So 2 over negative root 3 times square root 3 square root 3 is the extra 2 root 3 over 3 negative. Okay, so are we okay here? Hey, there you go. It's all the strict values you're supposed to know. Now you gotta do it without unit circle because I'm gonna take away after you take a unit circle part. I'll take it away so you no longer have it. That doesn't mean anything. So let's go into the harder one. Is everybody okay so far? Like you don't understand anything? Please, in order to make me a better teacher, is ask questions, not to be like, oh, okay, I don't want to look stupid. It looks stupid when you get a bad grade on the test. It doesn't look stupid when you ask a question now. Is that okay? So, do you guys remember what sine inverse of negative root 3 over 2? Now, sine inverse is also known as arc sine of negative root 3 over 2. So they are equal to each other. So remember, sine inverse are nothing different, not the same as reciprocal. Reciprocal is 1 over sine. Sine inverse is different. Sine inverse is looking for different things. Let's ask some people, see if they know. Liam, what do you think? Sine inverse and negative root 3 over 2. 4 pi over 3, okay. And I don't know if that's right. I don't know. Gabriel, 2 pi over 3, okay. Ethan, negative 5 pi over 3, okay. Balin. Oh, everybody got different answer. I like this. I don't know who's right, who's wrong. Fiona? Pi over 3. Benicia? 5 pi over 3. Gabby? 5 pi over 3. Kaden?
4 pi over 3 and 5 pi over 3.
Surprisingly, I haven't heard right answer yet. Ethan, want to change your question? Negative pi over 3 is correct. So why is that negative pi over 3? Because this is going to be a tough question. Because sine inverse has a right 2 quadrant. I don't know if you ever learned this. It's a right 2 quadrant for sine inverse. Do you learn this before? So y is negative pi over 3. It should be right here, right? It should be right here. Now, y is a 4 pi over 3 is the wrong answer. Because 4 pi over 3 is going to go cross this restriction. And not only cross, you're going to cross twice. So think about you like a fly zapper here, right? You go in there, you zap once, and you come back, you get zapped once. You get zapped twice to get there. You're not stupid. You can get through here, and then you can say, okay, yeah, I can just go around. And yeah, and yesterday Saba posted a video talk about the whole worksheet. Go back and watch that, or go back and do over the worksheet. It'll help you, and also solve an equation we're going to talk tomorrow. Test should be Wednesday.
I have a couple questions. First of all, is this posted somewhere in the chat where I can just print it out and redo it again?
It's in the bag.
Okay. And for the Pythagorean identities, you want exactly like what was on the video? Like specifically divide by sine on all of them, and divide by cosine for all of them? Okay.
You have to derive it.
And oh, sorry. The last one is there somewhere we can have the digital version of the trig section of the summer packet?
I'm going to send it right now.
Okay. For the trig portion of it, like, would you like us to like use imaginary numbers when like getting rid of the I mean, just getting rid of the
Rationalize, yes.
just rationalize it, imaginary numbers.
Yes.
Okay.
What's the test on Wednesdays? The stuff we have in the packet, like the Unisort packet.
Yeah.
But people were talking about like the back half of the summer packet.
I'm going to send it again on group chat. I'm going to send it again on group chat. Oh, I need you to grade a test this afternoon if you want to increase your score.
Can I go?
So, you?
Yeah.
I don't think you qualify. You're pretty smart.
No, I think I fumbled.
You fumble?
Yeah.
Depend how bad you fumble. We will see.
Okay.
Wait, so you only get the extra points if you're in the percentile? Is that how that works?
No. It'll be extra credit if you come back after school to help me grade. We're gonna go through all the stuff and you're gonna grade it.
How long do you have to be?
Usually 1 hour and 1 hour.
One hour.
Yesterday about 1 hour.
For 1 hour, that's only.
1 hour and 10 minutes maybe.
I just have to like grind.
And that's only for 10 points, but if you need it,
out
you
of
need it.
100?
Yep. But that's good because I go over every questions. I teach you how to do the right thing.
Okay, but the test on Wednesday is mostly on the paper week, just this paper.
No, there was more than that. There was a second part. It was like what we just talked about. I'll post that right now.
Okay.
So, yes, Isaac.
Mr. A, so I'm still a little bit confused, but like, should I watch the video from a year ago, the one that you posted 3 days ago? Is it gonna be that?
Doesn't matter. I mean, what